Discipline isn't motivation, it's self-respect. You don't need a new morning routine. You don't need to overhaul your whole life. You just need to pick one thing that's going to benefit you, help you to get to your goal, and just do that on repeat daily, no matter how you feel. So one of the biggest changes I ever made in my life was the silent warrior sit. I just sit for 5 minutes, no music, no phone. We talked about this on the last episode, and just be present with myself. So when you do something like this, it's not a big, massive change initially, but it just compounds over time. And I've been doing this every single day without fail for even times where I forget and I get into bed and I'm lying all cozy in bed and I think, fuck, didn't do my meditation. I get up and I do it. It's only 5 minutes. It's not going to ruin everything. In fact, I've talked to people in the past, and when I tell that story, they would say, no, once I'm in bed, that's me. And I'll say, well, how long does it take you to get over to sleep? Now, I might toss and turn all night, or it might take me an hour. When you do the 5 minute silent meditation and it's ingrained in you and you're able to switch off with it, that's going to save you hours of forcing yourself to try to get to sleep. So even if I get out of my bed, sit on the ground and do my meditation, or sit on the end of the bed or wherever I decide to do it, I'm probably still better off than you staying in bed trying to fight your way to sleep. So having something like this, instead of trying to overhaul your whole life, instead of trying to join the gym, eat healthy, cut out all fatty foods, all bad things, and going to bed early, instead of trying to do everything all at once, like in the 20 years I've been doing this, I've met very few people that have been able to make a dramatic change in their life with their health, physical, mental, emotional health in one go and be successful in it. And most of the people that are successful have been informed by a doctor, if they don't do this, they're going to fucking die or something. So their motivation for it is pretty high. So try to do one thing rather than a full overhaul. So one of the statements I wrote here is, you don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. So if you have a goal of being healthier, well, like, it's not a clear enough goal, but it's a start, and people start there, be healthy, and then they go, going to start eating healthy, I'm going to not do any takeaways, I'm going to do gym every day and a wee warm up in the morning and all this shit that they're going to do. The systems aren't in place, the ideas are just in place, and then the systems, you fall. Whereas if you thought, right, I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm just going to think about my whole body as joints. I'm going to wiggle each joint. It might take me a minute, it might take me 5 minutes. I'm going to wiggle each joint before I leave the bedroom. Then at night, I'm going to do the 5 minute silent warrior sit. Those are two things that are very easy to implement that will have great effect throughout the day. You're sandwiching your day between two positive, easy to maintain techniques or rituals or routines, whatever you want to call it. And then you can build on them. Fuck, when I get up in the morning, I do that wee bit of mobility, I feel pretty good. I wonder if I took an extra 5 minutes and did a wee bit more. Or I wonder if I went to the gym and did like half an hour in the gym, how would I feel then? And same with the meditation. When I do that 5 minute silence, it really helps me. Maybe if I started winding down earlier for bed, that would also help my sleep. So you're building on the simple foundations rather than trying to rehaul your whole life in one day and then force yourself to do it, to maintain it. So discipline is remembering that what you said you'd do and then doing it anyway. Really hard to have discipline when you said you're going to do 15 things that completely change your life, and one meeting that runs over so you don't get your proper lunch doesn't just steamroll into fucking the whole thing up. So discipline is, if I decide I'm going to do that meditation every night, then I do it. That's it. It just be done. It doesn't interfere with anything else because it's the last thing I do before sleep. So it's not going to interfere with anything. The mobility in the morning is the first thing I do in the morning, so it doesn't interfere with anything. If I have things going on in the day where I have to be somewhere else, then I just get up slightly earlier. I know it takes me 20 minutes, so I get up 20 minutes earlier, do the mobility, and then move on. So your discipline is just making a decision and then doing the thing you said you would do, regardless of how you feel or if you want to do it or not. So just start with a small unshakable rituals. So you'll get this in the notes anyway, but the small one, like, so I've wrote here just as an easy example, brushing your teeth with intention is better than trying to meditate for 20 days. So if I'm just brush my teeth and then go, there's no intention there, there's no self-awareness, no presence, no focus. But if I'm intentionally brushing, then I'm aware, I'm not thinking about everything else, I'm not listening to music, I'm just zoned into myself. That is like a version of moving meditation, like Tai Chi and Qigong are moving meditations. They're just more intent on the movements of opening the body and stretching the tendons and everything else that goes with it. But you can do that with brushing your teeth. You can do it with, like, intentional eating is one of the best ways for fat loss, because most people who are overweight aren't aware what they're eating. They just eat and they'll say to you, like, oh, I just start and I'm done. And I try not to put as much food on my plate, but then I just go back for extras and then I don't even know how much I'm eating in general. Whereas if you're aware of every mouthful, you chew, what was it, like 50 times we're meant to chew every piece of food. One of the reasons that you do that is all the science behind it, the way your saliva works and everything. But if we just take that out and just think of the mindset, it keeps your awareness there. If you're chewing, then you're aware of every bite. So the more you're aware of it, the more that you can make changes if you feel that changes need to be made. So just being aware when you brush your teeth is better than, I'm going to fucking try to meditate for 20 days. Like, I'm going to do a cold bath. Many times have you seen people do like cold bath, 20-day fucking social media thing, and then they just drift off? Or they manage to do their 20 days, but then they haven't implemented it into their life properly. They've just forced themselves for social media to do 20 days. And it hasn't made any change. Where self-awareness, if you're being more aware with your daily activities, then you're building that presence, that awareness, and that will filter into everything else you do as well. So every choice is an identity vote. So I've talked about identity before. So if you train, if you say I train, you then become someone who trains. So I train is a statement that doesn't have as much self-awareness and as much control as I'm someone who trains. So I go to the gym. I'm someone who goes to the gym. There's more to that. You have to be more aware. When you say I go to the gym, that could be anything. Someone who feels like somebody that goes to the gym goes there with more presence, goes there more often, and does more work when they're there. So every time you're deciding, I'm someone who meditates, instead of I meditate, even in the way it's said, I know I meditate, you've probably done that once this month maybe, but I'm someone who meditates. I meditate all the time. When I was writing my book, I didn't say I wrote a book. I said I was an author, because an author writes, whereas someone who wrote a book wrote a book. So I've wrote books, PDFs, courses, training manuals, all that sort of stuff. So I am journals. I am an author, not a person who wrote a book. That makes sense. So this is your challenge, just to keep one challenge. Choose one non-negotiable ritual and then just do it every day for 7 days. So if you're following along the podcast, you might be doing the partway through your 7 days of the silent warrior sit. So if you want to just keep doing that for another 7, start the 7 days again and just keep going. Perfect. Or if you want to add a wee bit of mobility in the morning or add something, just do something for 7 days. And if you miss it within the 7 days, then the timer starts again. So you restart your 7 days. You're trying to get something simple that you can build a foundation on, so that you can grow your presence, your awareness, and help you just to steamroll into the actual goals, the bigger goals that you want to achieve. So until the next time, have a super awesome day, whatever you get up to, and I'll speak to you again soon.